Okay, on this set of notes, they're going to have the word problems that we have to actually write our equation and then solve them. So we got to define a variable, which is usually going to be x and y, set up that equation and solve it using any of the methods that we know so far, and then identify the answer, what they're actually wanting the answers to be. So on the first one, it says the sum of two numbers is 30. Sum means to add. Two numbers are my variables. I'm going to say x and y. So I'm going to do x plus y is going to equal 30. Then it says their differences, so these two numbers' differences is going to be 12, and we want to find those two numbers. Well, if I put ones in front of these things and do the elimination method, notice the y's will cancel out because 1 minus 1 is 0. Those cancel out. So I'll have 2x is equal to 42. If I divide by 2, I see that x is 21. Now I can take it and plug it back into either one of these problems here. I'm going to take it the first one. X plus y is equal to 30. So the x is 21. If I subtract 21, I get y is equal to 9. Okay? So my two numbers are 21 and 9. If I go to number 2, it says the sum of two numbers is 24. So this is your x plus your y is equal to 24. Their difference is 2. And I want to know the two numbers. These are almost identical to each other. So if I put the ones in front of my x's and my y's, that means I'm going to have 2x is equal to 26. Divide by 2, and x is equal to 13. Take it, plug it back in. The x was 13. So if I subtract the 13, I find that y is, I believe, 11. So my two coordinates are 13 and 11. Okay, on number 3, it says the difference of the two numbers is 9. Okay. The first number plus twice the other number is 27. So I have the first number plus twice the other number, so that's the 2y, is equal to 27. And then they want to know the two numbers. Well, if I look at these equations, I notice the x's have the same numbers, but they're the same sign. So I'm going to change the second row. And now combine. The x's go away. Negative 1 and negative 2 is now negative 3. And 9 minus 27 is a negative 18. If I divide by negative 3, I see that y is a 6. So I'll go back to the first equation. I see that x minus 6 is equal to 9. So if I add 6, I see that x is actually 15. So my 2 points are 15 and 6. On 14 says the sum of two numbers is 36. It says twice the first, so that's 2x minus the second is equal to 6. I put ones on all my variables. I notice the y's have ones, and one's positive, one's negative, so I'm ready to go the way it is. That gives me 3x, the y's cancel, and here I get 42. I want to divide 42 by 3, and I get 14. Take it, plug it back in. I'm going to go with the first equation. 14 goes in for x. I'm going to subtract 14. Gives you y is equal to 22. So my 2 points are 14 and 22. On number 5, it says the sum of two numbers is 20. The difference between 3 times the first and twice the second is 40. Alright, so I'm going to take the first one. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my y's because I have different signs. So I'm going to multiply the first one by 2. That means it changes to 2x plus 2y is equal to 40. The bottom one is just the same. And now my y's will cancel out. I'll have 5x's is equal to 80. But if I divide that by 5, 80 divided by 5 is 16. I'm going to plug it back to the original equation. I had x plus y equal 20. X is 16. I'm going to subtract 16. That tells me y is 4. So my two numbers are 16 and 4 for my solution. On 6, this is the sum of two numbers is 25. One number is, okay, so here's the difference here. One number is, there's my equals, twice the second number plus 7. What's the two numbers? Now this one's the tricky one because the second one is not written in the right form. I want to subtract the 2y so that this changes to 1x minus 2y is equal to 7. So now when I see it, I'm going to bring up the second modified equation and check it. The x's have the same numbers, but they're the same sign, so I'm going to change my symbols, and now my x's go away. The y is a 3y, and 25 minus 7 is 18. Divide by 3, and I see that the y is a 6. I'm going to take it, plug it back into the first equation. Okay, I found out the y is a 6. So I subtract 6, and I see that the x, I believe, is 19. If I subtracted right. Yeah. Alright, so my two numbers are 19 and 6 for my solution. Now, number 7 is a lot like your homework. It puts it into a story. So it says 3 boxes of envelopes. Well, my envelopes will represent my x's, and then it says 4 boxes of notebook paper. Okay, so that'll be my y value. Notebook paper is the y. It totals $13.25. So realize I'm adding these two things up. The second question is 2 boxes of envelopes. Well, the envelopes were x's, and it says 6 boxes of notebook paper. Total $17. Well, if I look at my equations, I can't get rid of either one of these because none of them have the same coefficient. So this is where I'm going to flip-flop these things. I'll multiply the top one by 2 and the bottom one by 3. Okay, so this, let me put an arrow, is changing to 6x plus 8y is equal to 10 times 25 times 2. Oops. Go to decimal. 2650 here. The second one is a 6x plus 18y equals, and then 17 times 3 is 51. Now the x's both have 6's, but they're positive, so change your signs. And now the x's go away. The y's become a negative 10. And negative 51 plus 26.5 gives you negative 24.5. I'm going to divide by negative 10. And that tells me that the first one The Y's cost $2.45. The Y's was the notebook paper. Okay, there's one answer. So now I want to take this and plug it back into one of my equations. Say if I take the first one, I have 3x's plus 4 of my notebook papers that cost $2.45. And it's going to total $3.25. Well, if I find out this value, 4 times 245, this gives me 980, or 9.8. I want to subtract that 9.8 and see that 3x is equal to 3.45. So I'm going to divide by 3 now and see that the x's are 1.15. So that's $1.15 for the envelopes. Okay. Now, this one's a word problem. It looks different than the other ones. On the word problem, I had to actually state what each one of these answers represent. Up here, I was just writing the points and coordinates because those were just numbers. On this one, these numbers are decimals and they mean something. This is actually money for envelopes and this is the money for the notebook paper. And I have to label them what they actually are from my story. So don't miss this on your assignment.